What is going on, everyone? Welcome back. So Euphoria Season 3 just dropped its 4th episode, and honestly, the show has completely shifted gears this season in a way I did not expect. Episode 4 is called Kitty Likes to Dance, and it is doing a lot of storytelling heavy lifting as we hit the halfway point of the season. Today, I want to break down what happened, what it means for each character, and why that ending has everyone talking. Let's get into it. Before I get into the characters, I want to talk about what this episode is actually about on a deeper level. Because Euphoria always has a theme running underneath the chaos. This episode is about truth versus survival. Almost every single character this week is caught between who they really are and the version of themselves they need to present to stay safe, stay relevant, or stay alive. That tension drives every storyline from start to finish. Keep that in mind as we go through it. So Rue kicks off the episode in a really difficult spot after last week's cliffhanger. She is being questioned by federal agents who clearly have been watching her for a while. And what makes this scene so well written is that Rue, who has always been the smartest person in the room in her own chaotic way, has absolutely nowhere to run here. The agents aren't bluffing. They have documentation, they have evidence, and they hand her a choice that isn't really a choice at all. Cooperate or face serious federal consequences. It is one of those moments where you watch a character realize that all the clever maneuvering they have been doing has quietly been building a cage around them. Zendaya plays this scene beautifully. You see Rue calculating, you see her panicking, and you see the exact moment she decides, survival first, everything else second. The task she gets handed is almost cruelly ironic. She has to bring together two people who want nothing to do with each other. Two worlds that were never supposed to collide, and she has to do it while pretending nothing is wrong to everyone around her. Now, this is where things get really complicated. The DEA isn't looking for small bits of information anymore, they want something much bigger. They push Rue to set up a face-to-face meeting between Lori and Alamo, two people who are clearly not on good terms. Rue even tells them straight up that's not going to happen. But the response is simple: make it happen, or face the consequences. So now, Rue finds herself in a high-pressure situation, sitting across from Alamo at a poker table, knowing she's being monitored. Every word matters. She carefully tries to bring up the idea of a new connection from Mexico, hoping it sounds natural, but Alamo immediately senses something is off. He questions her, making it clear he doesn't buy what she's saying. The tension in that moment is unreal. Rue is trying to stay calm, but you can feel the pressure building with every second. Now let's talk about the most intense part of the episode, what goes down at the Silver Slipper. Things are already uneasy when Kitty arrives, and then suddenly, Lori's crew makes their move. Two masked men enter and quickly take control of the situation, creating panic inside the club. They use fear and intimidation to pressure everyone, focusing on Big Eddie, who clearly knows more than he's letting on. After a tense standoff, he finally reveals the location of a hidden safe. The crew gets what they came for and leaves just as quickly as they arrived. But the real twist comes in the final moments. As they escape, Rue notices something crucial: the getaway driver is Faye. That single reveal changes everything. It confirms that Lori is still very much in control and actively making moves. And for Rue, this makes her situation even more dangerous. She's caught in the middle, secretly working with the DEA, while both sides continue to escalate. Cassie's storyline this season has been doing something genuinely interesting, and this episode pushes it forward in a fun way. She is essentially trying to build a new identity from scratch, rebranding herself in a city that rewards image above almost everything else. Maddie is the architect of this plan, and the dynamic between them is honestly one of the more entertaining things in Season 3. Maddie operates like someone who has studied how attention works, and Cassie is her project. There is a party scene this episode where Cassie has to perform a version of herself. Confident, desirable, untouchable. And you can see her both succeeding at it and losing a little piece of herself in the process. It connects directly to the episode's theme. Cassie is learning to lie convincingly about who she is. And for now, it seems to be working. I have to talk about Nate, because this episode has one of the most unexpected moments for his character in the entire series. He goes into an official setting expecting to muscle his way through a problem the way he always has, through pressure, through force of personality, through sheer refusal to accept no, and it does not work. He ends up completely unraveling in public. It is uncomfortable to watch in the best way. Because Nate has always derived his identity from control. Control over situations, over people, over how he is perceived. This episode strips all of that away in about 90 seconds and leaves him with nothing to hide behind. Where his arc goes from here is one of the more compelling questions of the back half of the season. The Lexi and Jules material this episode is quieter but thematically rich. Jules creates something authentic and personal for a professional project, and the professional world immediately rejects it. Too much, too honest, dial it back. There is a line delivered to Lexi about not being a net negative, that is played as a business note, but lands like something much harsher. And Jules' response, destroying her own work privately, says everything about what it feels like to express yourself and then have to erase it. For a show that started as a story about teenagers trying to figure out who they are, watching these characters now navigate the adult world's demand to be palatable is a quietly devastating continuation of that same story. So here is where we land at the end of episode 4. Rue is now operating as a double agent in a situation that is already starting to crack. The person she needs to win over is suspicious. The organization she is supposed to be helping just made an aggressive move that changes the playing field. And the one piece of information she has, that recognized face, is something she has not yet decided what to do with. The ending is not explosive, it is quiet. But the weight of it is enormous because you understand that Rue has no good options left. Every path forward requires betraying someone. The question the show is setting up for the back half of the season is simple and brutal. Who does Rue sacrifice, and can she live with it? Meanwhile, every other character is facing their own version of that same question. Cassie is sacrificing her authenticity for visibility. Nate is discovering that there is nothing left to sacrifice. Jules is being asked to sacrifice her expression to survive professionally. The title, Kitty Likes to Dance, is playful on the surface. But the episode underneath it is about people performing for their survival, and the dance is getting harder to keep up. Episode 5 is called This Little Piggy and drops next Sunday on HBO and Max. Things are about to accelerate hard in the second half of this season, and I genuinely have no idea how some of these storylines resolve. Let me know in the comments, do you think Rue can pull this off, or has she already made too many mistakes? If you enjoyed the breakdown, like and subscribe, and I will see you next week.